When I walk to school, I find trash and needles, and I see people using and selling drugs. It makes me feel uneasy and unsafe. I'm only 10 years old. As mayor, what will you do to clean up the streets and make sure that to stop people from using drugs and people from selling drugs?
While we have to have a comprehensive approach, and that means zero tolerance for the open air drug market, along with the open air use, because what you described in no way, shape, or form should that be normal, and no one should normalize us attempting to contain it just within this particular area. So when you see me call President Biden and Governor Josh Shapiro and say every resource is available at the federal, state, and local level, I want them on the ground in Kensington, because there will be zero tolerance for any misuse or abuse of authority by law enforcement, but we're going to clean this stuff up. I want you to know some people are going to be upset with Mayor Parker. We're going to use every tool in our toolbox, but you will not, under a Parker administration, walk through this and expect me to think that you should be used to it. Never in the day, and I don't care how many people I piss off by doing it.
Es bien importante que nosotros entendamos que aquí los líderes cívicos han planificado lo que ellos quieren ver en Kensington. Aquí lo que ha faltado es el liderazgo para apoyar el plan que ustedes quieren ejecutar. Folks, Kensington leadership has a plan. It's real important for the candidates who are coming to Kensington that they sit down and they talk to the leadership here. There is a plan that talks about housing. There is a plan that has millions of dollars being invested to all of our green spaces, because I prioritize that. But what good is it if we invest in capital infrastructure and we have a failed containment strategy that allows people from outside to do all the lawlessness that they do in our streets? That is what's missing here. We have leadership ready, prepared, and eager to do the work, and they do the work every single day. It is really important that the folks who are running for mayor understand that what is missing in Kensington is leadership that says no neighborhood should live like this. I'm going to stand with my community leaders and I'm going to make them clean and safe. That is what we're missing. This is not an investment issue. This is not a leadership issue locally. It is a leadership issue from the city, and all the elected officials here should, all of us should be held accountable for the fact that we have a mayor that will not support community leadership here in Kensington.
So I think there has to be a priority of what is important. There is not endless money. So what is first? The most important thing is that you have a safe community. That means we will have to have police out. They will have to have the technology to be a force multiplier. They will have to go up Kensington Avenue and enforce the law. There will be no illegal activities on Kensington Avenue. No drug dealing, no prostituting, no public defecation, none of those things. Then there will have to be trucks that come up and pick up all the trash, all the dumping, and after that they have to enforce it. They have to go to the public transportation system, ensure every place is safe with cameras, with drones, whatever that takes to ensure that this community is safe.
The Kensington residents feel they are in the receiving end of bad policies, live in a high crime area, littered streets at the mercy of some slumlords who take advantage of the poor and the undocumented. No access to recreational centers within walking distance from their homes to help keep their children safe. There are no safe green spaces or parks. So my question to all of you is, when and how do you plan to partner with our school community right here, our school community residents in the decision-making process? When and how will you include everyone in this room?
I would partner with the community on day one. As city controller, I put together groups of community members for several projects that I did. For the city's investigation into my investigation into the city's response to the civil unrest. My office put together a group of community leaders, residents, business leaders, to get input on what is the best way forward for policing in our city. The same that my office did for the audit of the police department. And on day one, I would bring you together to say, what can we do for the residents of Kensington? I put forth a public safety plan specifically related to the opioid crisis, and that calls for both law enforcement action to break up the drug market, as well as compassionate care for those suffering from addiction. But the people here in this audience, you are the ones that know what you need the best to fix the community, and you know what you need from the city. And I will listen to you and work with you to provide that.
To all the students here, I want you to remember something I'm going to say to you right now. Every job is 51% hospitality and 49% technical. 51% hospitality, 49% technical. And the city government should be like that too. We need more hospitality in the city of Philadelphia. We need to change how we answer the phones to thank you for calling the city of Philadelphia. How may we help you? My administration will be helpful to every person across the board. Open, accessible. You can reach me or anyone else. I work a lot. I love to work. It's not a problem. But I will also share with you that the Kensington Collaborative, I'm going to call it, will be part of my administration with community people, with schools. Our goal is to make life better for everybody. But I will say this. If I was mayor last week, I would have said to President Biden, I need you to come to Kensington. I need you to walk with me from K&A to Lehigh. You need to see what's going on here. We need your help. We need your help. And I would have made that happen.
I came into office after a mayor had shut down 30 public schools, closed and slashed funding for libraries and recreation centers, after-school programs, and even closed down fire stations. And I said, absolutely not on our watch, that this city will not grow if it leaves its families and its children behind. And I am somebody who has spent my entire life trying to make families and young people stronger in the face of unmitigated violence. So as soon as I came in, the first thing we did was that clean water campaign that brought those brand new water stations out to every single young person. That started a $500 million campaign to get air conditioning, to do lead, asbestos, and mold remediation. And that is just the start. The point is that we have the money when it becomes a priority. As mayor, I will lead an effort to collaborate with the district and do a dual budget that we present before the city of Philadelphia on what a modern public school system and a growing city has to look like, because they are not separate budgets. They are not separate ideas. If the school district is left behind, the entire city is left behind. If children do not grow up healthy and strong, our city will not grow healthy and strong.
In our first 100 days as mayor, our administration is going to evaluate each and every school, starting in communities like Kensington, to see what needs to happen and what the next steps are going to be. So if a school needs to be fully renovated or relocated or knocked down and rebuilt, that's what we're going to do. We're also going to install 21st century technology in and around each and every school to ensure safety. For example, cameras, panic packages, and heavily increase the lighting. And last but not least, we're going to make sure that we start an office of family and parent engagement. Our schools and communities don't thrive without your involvement. We can't expect teachers to come in from outside the community to teach and tell our children what's best for us. And then further, we're going to be making sure each and every community that the schools are in are safe.
Last year in Philadelphia, there were 516 homicides. 214 children were shot. 30 of these fatalities were children. This school year, 78 students in the district have been shot, 17 of them killed. How will you prevent or at least decrease the level of gun violence across the city and make it harder for criminals to get guns? We just want to be safe and learn. This question is for Mr. Eamon Brown and Mr. Derek Green.
Eamon Brown is left.
Okay.
Thank you for that question. Is the number one issue that we talk about every single day in every single community, especially right here, and every child should be safe. As a parent, I understand that concern and that fear, because when you let your child leave to go to school, you expect them to return back safe. That's not what's happening in the city of Philadelphia. When I talked earlier about my public safety plan, we're going to do it and have a reduction of 25% or more shootings in the city of Philadelphia in the first year of a Green administration. And we're going to do that through presence, accountability, opportunity, and investment.
Guys, I'm going to address these young people first. I'm sure you guys are old enough to realize, and you won't be offended if I told you there was no Santa Claus. It's the same thing in life. Please don't put your faith and hope in politicians, because we can't all solve your problems. The faith and hope, your faith and hope has to be in who? You and the God above. The Bible says, unless God builds the city, they labor in vain that build it. The Bible says, unless God keeps watch, the watchmen labor in vain.